Welcome back. We're looking at the subject of the Christian and personal riches, and we're going to look at it in prophecy. It's for us to understand our role as servants. We are servants in God's household. We are to be the best servant we can be faithful, be loyal, be loving, and also we want to look at things like the parable of the talents because it tells us in this Matthew 25 passage, and I believe it starts in verse 14, it tells us that we've been given a trust. Now, when I say about the parable of the talents tells us, you got to understand the context here. What starts out, Jesus' teaching starts out, the kingdom of God is like this. It's like a master who is going away, but before he goes away, he calls his servants together, and to one he gives 5 talents, another he gives 2, and another he gives 1. Talents, it's about a month's wages or more. I mean, it's a significant amount. God shows us here that kingdom is like the master who gives a trust to these servants of his, and one's given 5, one's given 2, one's given 1, but nevertheless, they're all given a trust. So what are they going to do with it? Kingdom of heaven is like this, that the one who was given 5, went out right away and multiplied it by 2 and produced 10 talents at the time of accounting. I'm sure he was excited to see his master return. He could show him, here's the 5 and here's 5 more, because he knew the delight that he was going to see on his master's face. A delight. Well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful in little things. See, I will give you much. Come and enter into your master's happiness. There was delight on the face of the master. Well done. I chose well and given you 5. And the same with the one who had 2. But the one who was the servant only given 1 talent, well, he had an issue. His issue was with his master. He didn't multiply anything. He went and hid this talent. Why would he hide it? Well, perhaps he was hiding it because he didn't even think that maybe his master was going to return. This is another lesson that we learn in the Bible. Another lesson is, what do we do when God stays away? What do we do when we don't see God or evidence of God for a while? There's a saying, when the cat's away, the mice do play. What's that about? Well, because often, if we feel or sense that God's away, we do what we want. We do things that we know are not pleasing to God because we think no one's looking. Is that true? No. It's a lie from the pit of hell. The devil wants us to think that God's not looking, but God is everywhere at once, and he looks right into the heart, into the motivations. He sees everything. Everything will be revealed at the time of the counting. Things done in secret will be shouted from the housetops. So we need to keep these things in mind, friends, that God sees everything. He knows about our motivation. He knows what we do. And this servant that hid his talent, cast into a place where there was weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth. So, with Exodus 25, in verses 1 through 3, when each one, as they were able, was asked to give. Each man, as their heart prompted them, was asked to give. What happened? What happened at that offering? Well, the story gets pretty bad. But we'll read about it in the we'll read about it in the 32nd chapter of Exodus. And we'll pay attention to that because we're going to look at that the next time in some detail. Because that is where the golden calf was made. It was a great first test of the faithfulness of Israel and the Israelites, and many failed that test. Terribly failed that test. We're going to see that what happened at that offering that God asked, many chose not to participate. Many chose to hold on to their gold and the silver and their nice clothing and their trinkets and all the other things that made them rich. They chose not to give. And so they showed that their God was not the Lord, because it revealed their heart. Their God was not the Lord, but their God was mammon. Their God was money and riches. We're going to see that they were walking around after this offering with golden earrings and maybe silver bracelets and these necklaces of gold and so on with precious stone. They're walking around with all these riches. Many, not all, but many. They chose not to participate in the voluntary offering of God. Why? It wasn't in their heart to give. Friends, this isn't about stepping up your giving to your local church. This isn't about that. It's not. It's about stepping up on your generosity toward God and toward the things that matter most to God. It's about stepping up your worship, your willingness, my willingness to sacrifice on God's behalf. Not only that, but whatever God gives you, understand it's just a trust. It is for you to multiply and send on ahead to the bank of heaven. We'll continue with this the next time. God bless.
Are your ways, King of ages, so great and